One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
This reminded me of another time when I was when I was leaving Savannah, I think, to go to Brunswick, Georgia, I think. But anyway, the a semi truck had rolled over. It was on its side, and it was right across all the lanes, and on the sides of the road there was nowhere for you to go around. There was too big of a ditch, or there was a guardrail or something, and so we were all just stuck like for the longest time. And I was supposed to be somewhere and meet some cop about the DARE program fundraiser. I couldn't even, I remember I had to wait, it took forever till we finally got to move so that I could pull over to the gas station and make the call.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
Rob, was this when you were known, or was this in your earlier days?
Yeah, this was just independent,
this is independent. Okay, independent time.
days, yeah, Georgia, Carolina days.
Oh, okay.
No headlines there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's wild.
The show that I missed, I think that's one of only I don't know, 3 or 4 shows, even counting signings.
And then the one where you went there and it was snowed out and you drove all the way there.
I get a credit for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one, Rob.
Yeah.
That one. If y'all haven't heard the story on this one is well known because it was when I was in WCW. So it's the winter, early '93, and could have even been December '92, but I don't think so. But anyway, the show is in a town called White, Georgia, which is up in the mountains and in North Georgia.
It's like where my dad lives, kind of.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, coming from down below, man, it was just this scary roads to get there, and the weather was fine on the way there, but you couldn't go very fast because you were winding and looking over the side of a mountain, and there wasn't even guardrails for most of it.
Scary. And you could have ran over black ice and been dead.
Why do the guys got to be black?
It was in White, Georgia.
You said I run over some black guys?
No, black ice.
Oh, okay.
Isn't it called black ice?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called black ice.
Just checking. But it was scary under normal conditions. On the way there, I was like, holy shit, this is one of the most dangerous rides. Had to keep hitting the brake and, trying to get a little speed and then hitting the brake. Like, whoa, keep hugging those curves. Anyway, got to the show, got in White, Georgia. I'm on early. I wrestled William Regal, and yeah, but it's snowing now, and they keep saying that it's going to be a pretty bad snowstorm we're going to get hit with. Yeah. Ricky Steamboat and Shane Douglas wrestled Steve Austin and I think Brian Pillman, the Hollywood Blondes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Chris Benoit wrestled somebody. I think Too Cold Scorpio.
How do you remember the card?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pretty good though, Rob.
Yeah.
No, Scorp was in a tag match.
That's so weird.
Scorp was in a tag match. I know.
Because how do you have time to think about your match and everyone else?
Well, not everyone's, but I don't know. The Hollywood Blondes, that was the main event. Those guys were okay, but anyway, everyone's like, wow, they're saying that the snow is really, really bad outside, and the news kept getting worse and worse, and I'm up first or second match. I can't remember right now. I usually do know that, but after my match, I left. I was living in Augusta at the time, so It should have only been like maybe like a 2-hour drive, I think. But instead, it ended up taking me, I don't know, maybe like 8 hours or something.
Wow.
It was like, it was so bad. It was like where you can't see ahead of you. Everything is just white, literally in white Georgia. And and so I remember how scary the roads were that I'm on right now. So I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm just gonna drive right off a cliff and not even know. And I could see about maybe like 3 feet in front of the car. So I could see the tire tracks in the snow of the car that was ahead before me as the
Yeah.
tracks were filling in. And that's all I had to go by. And I was thinking, oh my God, if this guy drove off a cliff, I'm gonna
Right.
drive off too.
You're gonna go with them.
That's all I could see. Couldn't see anything else, and it was so scary. And like my back was so tense on the ground. And I grew up in that kind of shit, you know. So it's always sucked, but it's something, you know, that I was able to make it through. Anyway, it took me forever, and then I got home to my place, and then the next day we had another show, and Concord, North Carolina, and it was the snow was still bad, and so I fucking drove up there. It took 2 or 3 times as long as it should have, and as far as I could see, I could always see a car or a truck that was wiped out. As soon as I would pass one, I could see the next one.
Yeah.
On the sides of the road, and I was going in between them and trying to steer, and fucking went all the way up to fucking Concord, North Carolina, to be at this show. And when I finally got there was no cars.
Nobody was there.
Nobody was there. I was like, what the fuck, dude? And I went up to open up the door, and it was locked, but there was a sign in the window that said show had been canceled.
Oh my God. And they couldn't text
No.
or call, back then.
Right. So I was upset, and felt like I didn't mean very much, because I didn't, because I was young and little Robbie V, little scrub. But it definitely made, I was like, fuck, man, I could have died. But what happened was everybody else got stuck in white. Nobody made it out.
You made it out though.
Yeah, and they got snowed in for days. They all in one hotel. They ran out of food. It was like a really big deal. And I think I'm the only one that made it out. If anyone else made it out of there, I don't know who it was.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So
For
in a
days.
way, you kind of lucked out in a certain way, like by
Yeah.
getting.
So I wasn't so pissed when I found that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
holy shit, that's crazy.
Did you go home after Augusta?
Went home after Concord back to Augusta, and then when I told them, they paid me for the show.
Oh, that's nice.
But I mean, yeah, it was like a whopping $150. That's what I was making back then, $1.50.
Oh man, anything helped back then though, right?
I'm surprised in
Yeah.
pro wrestling there hasn't been more traveling tragedies for how much traveling is involved with the job.
Yeah, I mean, just living out on the streets,
Yeah.
your chance of survival is so much less than if you're home and don't go anywhere. If you're a cat that just watches outside the window,
Yeah.
over a street cat. But and then when you're driving, who was it that was saying how much more dangerous it is when you're facing traffic?
Oh, it was a corner. I was watching the Theo Vaughn podcast, and he interviewed a coroner, and the coroner was saying, like, even if it adds 30 minutes to your trip, take the road that has more lanes, because the 2-lane roads where you're going this way and someone's going this way, and you're both going like 70 miles an hour, you're trusting each other so much that someone doesn't get into your lane and head on.
Wow.
You ever think about that? Like when you're going so fast, and they're only like sometimes like 6 to 8 feet away from distance. Like Like if they swerve over a little bit or they're not paying
Yeah.
attention, or it is really dangerous.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that brought a lot of attention to it, and the coroner saying it. That means he's seen a lot of shit through that for him to mention it. And then we take roads like that all the time traveling. It's scary, especially being pregnant. Then I try to be even more just aware of my surroundings and safety.
But
Yeah.
by the way, honorable mentions for some wrestlers that have passed from car accidents are Junkyard Dog, Adrian Adonis, Joey Morello, the referee, Gorilla
Yeah.
Monsoons.
Damn.
Yeah.
Jay Briscoe.
Mm.
Jay Briscoe is the latest one.
Mike Lazansky didn't die, but it started his downfall because his face looked different after plastic surgery or something after a really bad accident, and most likely he was already sewn up when he got in the accident because that's what we were doing back then, and he was driving. And it was hard to recognize the last time I saw him, but not long after that, I guess he took one too many.
Damn.
One of those things where the family can find peace in saying, no, it was cardiac arrest, but that's just like a lot of wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, such a sad thing. And like, yeah, it is surprising. Like, you think about like how often you guys travel, and like it's like, yeah, it's kind of shocking that it doesn't happen as often, knock on wood and everything. But
Hey, I want to talk to you guys all about IndaCloud, and holy smokes, I made my friend's day the other day because he came over. We went to a wrestling show, and I got dropped off at my place. He came inside, and I was like, hey, you know what you would like is a little bit of this stuff. And I showed him some of the IndaCloud products I got, and I hooked him up with some of the dope rope, and I hooked him up with some of the gummies, and he was unbelievably excited about how great this product was. He saw how many milligrams the dope rope was pumped for the gummies and all the different kind of flavors and variety of it all. And man, I was so happy I made his day, because guess what? He found a pair of my Ray-Bans, and I couldn't thank him enough for that. So I was like, you know what? You found my sunglasses. Let me hook you up. So Rob Van Dam and I, we want to offer you a very special offer for our listeners. This is a big time offer here. You're getting 40% off. That's right, 40% off when you use code RVD. Just head to inda.shop/RVD and you can get 40% off of your purchase here at IndaCloud. And let me say, they got plenty of stuff. They got the Pop Fizz stuff. They have the gummies, and man, this stuff is super effective, and it'll get you to where you want to be with some THC needs for sure. So yet again, go to inda.shop/RVD. That's INDA.shop/RVD and use promo code RVD to get 40% off your order. Do it now and feel one of a kind.
Well, let's look perfect with the perfect gene. Why not? And I tell you what, I am not lying when I say this. This is 100% the truth. I am not yanking your chain here. The perfect gene is my favorite pair of jeans that I own. I got the Joker Blue, and they're right here, baby. Boom. I'm a size 28-30. You can see the tag right here. Boom. Slim fit. The Joker Blue. They're awesome. I wear them anytime I do a new wash. They're the first pair of jeans I go to, and for good reason. They fit me great. They form fitting. They stretch to your body. And yeah, there's plenty of options that you can do when you go to theperfectgene.nyc. And per usual, like every podcast does, we got a special deal for our listeners. That is, it's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectgene.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code RVD15 at checkout. That's 15% off your new customers at theperfectgene.nyc with promo code RVD15. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Hey, fuck your khakis and get the perfect gene.